Let's go back to Vosloorus in Ekurhuleni, east of Johannesburg, where we find eNCA senior reporter Aviwe Mtila. Aviwe, good afternoon again. Welcome back to the Midday View. Earlier, when we spoke to you very briefly, you told us there have been 3 bodies found, but you told us about a body of a teenager, a grade 7 pupil, allegedly shot by local taxi operators, according to the local community. You showed us live visuals of some members of the taxi association with handguards firing into the air, allegedly to scare off the crowd of suspected looters. And you showed us the presence of the police on the ground. What is the latest you can tell us?
It's a community dialogue between some community leaders that comprises of the political leaders, the police, the taxi association, and various entities. And now we're seeing the SANDF coming into the picture, but they're addressing the young crowds here in terms of what's been happening throughout the majority of the day and the looting, basically asking them to stop their looting and telling them that sterner action will happen. But I want to show you that for the first time in Vosloorus, we're seeing the deployment of the South African National Defence Force. For the first time, some 30 or so minutes ago, they have came here and bringing in reinforcements. Now we've got the South African Police Service, the South African National Defence Force, the Ekurhuleni Metro Police, and the taxi associations also here, part of those that are guarding the Chris Hani Mall. But at the current moment, there's a ongoing dialogue with even the station commander of the Vosloorus police station, addressing the young crowd here and telling them, promising even jobs that they've been promised, because there are issues around the youth unemployment in the township, and essentially nothing about what these protests were initially about, which we know that they were earmarked just to support the former President Jacob Zuma. But now we're hearing that the issues on the ground, as we see the majority of those that are protesting here are the youth, essentially looting, I beg your pardon, are the youth. So they're being promised jobs, even in the BRT, which we understand is the taxi structures, saying that they themselves are willing to give the young jobs here as the South African National Defence Force comes in for the first time amid the riots and the chaos that we've been seeing over the last couple of days in Vosloorus. So they're being addressed at this current moment. Moments from now, they'll be told to disperse, and we'll see then if they adhere to that call.
Yeah, at least there is some dialogue going on, and people seem to be observing that kind of situation at the moment. Police on the ground, soldiers on the ground. Do you know, Aviwe, what is the intended outcome of this current dialogue that's happening?
Well, the key outcome is to disperse this young crowd that you see here, essentially the mob that has been looting the Chris Hani Mall here. So they are being addressed by senior leaders of the community, which comprises of different entities from different walks of life. They've been told that after this conversation will be the last time that they are officially addressed. And then from there on, if they do not disperse, they will be the ones that will be alone in those cells. There is quite a bit of chaos at this very moment. We're seeing some two young gentlemen there running away. We're not quite sure what is happening at the current moment, seeming to run from the side that we're at, moving across to join the young crowd on the other side here. But we're not quite sure what's happening there. But from here, they are told that if they do not disperse, then force will have to be used, and some of them will be alone in the cells, according to that station commander of the Vosloorus police station. We're trying to move and see clearly what exactly is happening further up the road over here. You remember their biggest grievance is around the force that's been used by the Katlehong People's Taxi Association. They say that, in fact, the Katlehong People's Taxi Association are the ones that shot that grade 7 pupil some 2 hours ago. That body recently just been taken by the pathological services. So their biggest grievances is around that. But we see here, there seems to be some sort of arrest that has been made. We will come and question exactly what has happened here as we move here, we assume at this stage that while all of this dialogue has been going on, possibly it could have been one of the looters here. Oh, utshontshelani wena impahla?
Hayi impahla njengoba ngisitshontsha ngibona abantu beya khona ukuya kwabantu khona nami asinalutho silambile emakhaya ngibona abantu beya khona nami ngabalandela.
Okay, so this gentleman here has been arrested because he was stealing inside the Chris Hani Mall here moments ago. And in fact, he says that he's doing it because he's seen a lot of people that have been doing it. He was hungry, so he's been apprehended this very moment. While the dialogue was continuing there, and we're seeing the SANDF deployment, this one is one of the three. Remember, the two just ran across, joining the young crowd there. Apparently, while the dialogue was continuing there, the young crowd being addressed to stop what they're doing. He's one of those that were stealing, caught now by some of the officials around here.
So now this man is going to be handed over to the police. I mean, those men who've caught him, to me, they look like members of the community or local citizens. Or they are going to be handing him over now to the police.
Handed over this very moment. I'm suspecting that it's the members of the Katlehong People's Taxi Association.
Okay.
The ones that have been actually quite forceful in removing this young crowd. They only came back, this young crowd, now by seeing the leadership come back. But earlier on, we saw scenes where live ammunition was fired by some of the Taxi Association people. They claimed that it was fired up in the air. Remember those claims that they're the ones that shot the Craig 7, but they were quite successful in dispersing the crowd, only seeing them come back now. And the three gentlemen taking chances of stealing in the Chris Hani Mall, while there's this whole dialogue happening here with strong reinforcements from the law fraternity.
Okay, we're going to have to leave it there for now. Aviwe Mtila, please do take care as you carry on to cover that ongoing attempt there by local community leaders and police and soldiers to get rid of that huge crowd of youngsters that has gathered there. Meanwhile, several of them, including that one you spoke to, has now been arrested. Apparently, he said he was inside the mall, the Chris Hani Mall in Vosloorus, which has been a target of these ongoing wave and wave of attacks by looters. He said he was just following other people inside there. We'll have to leave it there for now.